So according to Sebastian Fundora's promoter, Samson Lukowicz, Sebastian Fundora will be giving up one of his belts, the WBO, because he doesn't want to fight Xander Zayas. He prefers to go towards a more lucrative route, and that would be a rematch with Tim Tszyu.
What?
And Samson Lukowicz, he said it's because everybody wants to see the fight, and it'll be a bloodbath. It'll be a bloodbath. The blood came from an elbow, though.
Huh?
And then as far as the first part that you said, everybody wants to see it? Bitch, where?
I got beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, ram, raw.
If I tell you I'm good, probably you will say I'm boasting. If I tell you I'm no good, you know one line.
Yo, what's good, Boxing Talk family? It's your boy, Dr. Boxing Talk, back for another YouTube video. Banger, man. Yes, sir. Yes, man. Remember what time it is. The doctor's in the house, man. So check this out. As I said in the intro, man, we know that Sebastian Fundora was ordered to face his mandatory for the WBO portion of the belt in Xander Zayas, you know, the young up-and-coming contender. But instead of doing that, you know, Sebastian Fundora has chose to sidestep Xander Zayas and go towards a more lucrative rematch with Tim Tszyu. Now, before you say that he's a duck, I know a lot of people are going to make those accusations. I did say, hold on, man. You know, once I first heard that he vacated, I was like, I'm not going to call it a duck because I want to see who he potentially fights. Because if he fights a guy like Virgil Ortiz, I wouldn't say that he's ducking. If he fights a champion like Bakram Murtazaliev, I wouldn't say he's ducking. But he's fighting Tim Tszyu. I'm still not going to say he's ducking, even though I was not anticipating this, right? Because the rematch was the first match, excuse me, was controversial. So it does, you know, justify a rematch. But I do think having a rematch right now is pretty ridiculous, right? I think that Tim Tszyu, he did have a bounce back against Joey Spencer, but no disrespect to Joey Spencer, man, respect to all the fighters, but Joey Spencer's not on that world-class level to where I think that would justify Tim Tszyu getting a title shot right now. However, I'm not mad at that because it is a good fight. Like I said, the first fight had the controversy because of the elbow that Tim Tszyu sustained really early on the fight. I believe in the second round, if my memory serves me correctly. And, you know, he was losing blood profusely, which drains your energy, and his vision was severely impaired. So I would like to see that match again, but it didn't happen right away. It didn't happen immediately, right? He elected to go fight the IBF champion in Bakram Murtazaliev, and he got ran through like shit through draws. Yeah, you know, that's no disrespect. It just is what it is, man. Bakram made easy work out of him. So having a bounce back fight after losing 2 fights consecutively against a guy that's a mediocre challenger, you know, probably mid-level caliber fighter in Joey Spencer, I don't think that justifies him getting a title shot right now. But like I said, still, I understand it, you know. But what I contest is that, you know, with the fact that he's getting this fight and Sebastian Fundora is not fighting Xander Zayas, that when you also take into account the fact that they didn't even want to do a face-off, I thought that, you know, I initially defended that. I was like, you know, Sebastian Fundora not wanting to do a face-off with Xander Zayas after getting a win over Cordell Booker, I'm cool with that. Let him enjoy his moment. But now when you look at it in hindsight, it kind of seems like he didn't want to do a face-off because not because he just got out of a fight, but because more so he doesn't really want to fight Xander Zayas. He's not interested in that fight that the WBO and President Gustavo Oliveira is pushing for. So it is what it is, man. I wouldn't call him a duck, you know, but I'm not mad at anybody who does make that proclamation and assess that he is ducking him. You know what I'm saying? Now to get to the other side of things, what's going to happen with the WBO now that Sebastian Fundora is fighting Tim Tszyu, according to his promoter Samson Lukowicz, for a rematch, right? Well, we got Xander Zayas going to fight Jorge Garcia Perez, you know, for the vacant title for the WBO. And I think this is a good fight. I know a lot of people will be like, who is Jorge Garcia Perez, right? They don't know who he is. If I go in the middle of the mall and say, you know, Xander Zayas, well, people probably wouldn't know him as much either, but they know him a little more. But if I say Jorge Garcia Perez, they're only going to respond like this.
Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that? You know damn well who I am. Who the fuck is that?
You know, and I think that's a pretty appropriate response. But Jorge Garcia Perez, I know before you say, oh, he has 4 losses, that means he doesn't deserve a title shot. Well, slow down, little buddy. It's so crazy that us as boxing fans, we're so quick to dismiss a fighter because they have a couple of losses. Jorge Garcia Perez is on like an 8-fight win streak. You know what I'm saying? And all of those 4 losses, none of them came by knockout. So it was by decision. So, and you know, he's been on the road to recovery, road to redemption, and let's respect that. You know what I'm saying? He is number 2, and the reason why he's ranked number 2 in the WBO, he's ranked highly, is because he beat a highly rated and highly ranked contender in Charles Conwell in his last fight out. That's why you always got to put your best foot forward, man, because you never know what opportunities may lay ahead of you, man. And I know if I'm Charles Conwell, I just lost this fight by split decision, and a lot of people feel like he kind of dropped the ball and fumbled the bag. I know he's kicking himself because Charles Conwell was pleading for a step up fight. And look, if he would have beat Jorge Garcia Perez, it could have been Xander Zayas versus Charles Conwell for the WBO vacant belt. That would have been a fire fight, man. 2 young contenders that are hot in the hottest division in boxing, in my opinion, at 154. To me, the 3 best young contenders. Notice I said young, the emphasis on the young. The best young contenders at 154 are Charles Conwell, Xander Zayas, and Jonas Tellis. You know what I'm saying? So any combination of those 3 young lions, I would have loved to see it. But in my opinion, 154 is one of the hottest, is the hottest division. Not one of, it is the hottest division in boxing. I mean, you got guys in there like Sebastian Fundora, Bakram Murtazaliev, Terrence Crawford. I know his next fight is going to be against Canelo, so we don't really count him in there, but he is a champion. You got Virgil Ortiz, you got Serhiy Boachu, Israel Madrimov, Tim Tszyu, and there's a lot of names, man. Erickson Hammer Lubin, Arturo Holmes. I'm not going to name everybody. Jesus Ramos. I'm not going to name everybody. I'm just playing. You thought I was going to name one more? I'm not going to name everybody, but there's a lot of good, strong, heavy hitters in that division. So it's a deep division, man. So, you know, hopefully Charles Conwell could work his way back up. But I think that this fight is not a bad fight for Xander Zayas or Jorge Garcia Perez, man. Like I said, he beat Charles Conwell in his last time out, and he deserves a title opportunity. He's on like an 8-fight win streak, and most importantly, he's ranked number 2. Xander Zayas is ranked number 1. So it makes sense when a champion gives up their belt that the number 1 guy and the number 2 guy in that sanctioned body in the WBO, in this case, they get to fight for a vacant title. So I don't have a problem with it, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that in the comments. Don't forget to smack that like button. But most importantly, remember, with God, we can do anything. Without God, we're nothing. The doctor's out. Peace. From the hood to college, both worlds they had to meet. 6 degrees between us, so cold, we're about to freeze. But we're Florida boys, hot takes, we bring the heat. We're moving the culture, the engineers to the streets.